Welcome to another episode of R&D Garage. We're back at the shop. Matthew is working on, oh, there you are, his rear end. I don't think you guys have seen what's going on.
I'm like done with the rear end.
Oh, you're done with the rear end.
Done? Well, almost. I have some.
What'd you do to the rear end? This is amazing because Matt did this himself. Oh, wait. That's a secret. They're not supposed to know about that yet.
So I made this entire like fuel cell bracket completely so I can bolt everything in. So I welded the entire thing in. Fuel cell can come in and out. Rear mount radiator also come in and out.
Let me see that bracket. Let me see. Fancy in the back. Goes to the front down here. It's tight. It's on there. It's shaking the whole car. And then to take the fuel cell out, you just remove this 2 bolts. This comes off and this just slides right out.
And all these holes are all tapped into the steel, so I can just bolt everything in.
Yep, so the whole fuel cell is actually going to be properly attached. And because this whole bracketry is welded on 4 points across the chassis, it's actually solid. It's not like before with the flex fuel. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out very well.
I'm pretty excited about it. You did a great job.
I honestly, I thought my welds were going to be worse. I thought it was going to kind of be...
And they're not. Look,
it turns...
what's their nicest weld so I can show them?
I don't know. I mean, like, they're not like...
You got a light?
They're not,
Look at that.
They're okay. They're not...
That's pretty good, man, for somebody that doesn't know how to weld like us. That's really good.
Yeah. In the front, I have some good welds on the front here.
So he's been working on the front now.
So, yeah, so now I'm doing...
Because there's no radiator in the front. There's just going to be...
Oil cooler.
And power steering cooler.
So it'll be like
that double M. Everybody
MM.
And
make that plus a little fan shroud in the back for it, so I can do so I can have adequate cooling for everything. And then this whole piece will be removable, so when servicing the motor and everything,
yeah, you can pull the motor
nicely
right out. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So if you haven't noticed, everything we're doing here is custom. Like Matt is working and he's designing everything himself and he's creating it so it's gonna work together. And then I'm working on the motor, and we're gonna pull that pulley today and the oil pan and the heads and see what we really got going on. We already know that there's oil filaments in the oil. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just, you know, maybe wear and tear and the oil hasn't been changed in like a year. Who knows? It's a possibility. We have no background on this motor, so let's tear into that and see what it looks like. These 2 losers showed up. John's camera shy, poor guy.
Yeah, real camera shy.
He's a little camera shy. Look, he's turning red like an Asian. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I got the pulley off and we're gonna see what kind of cam this motor actually had or has.
Is it stock?
I think it might be stock, but I don't know. I don't know. It sounded funny. All right, you do it. I can't do it. My nails. Bro, don't drop that in there. All right, don't forget. There's 2 bolts underneath. I totally forgot. Go ahead. Ta-da! That was way easier than we thought. What does it look like? Oh, you can't see it. Now we got to take all of this off. Dang it. Okay, I got this off. I can't get the pump out until I take the oil pickup off. So, but just take the chain off and the main. And then the cam has no markings on it, which leads me to believe it is stock. You can't invite John over here ever, because he's like, I'm gonna take it apart, I'm gonna take it. Everything just happened. That was like less than a minute.
Oh, get on it. He's welcome here. He's just taking everything apart quickly. It just happens.
Are you saying he's better than me?
I'm just saying.
You're trying to kick me out already?
No.
I'm leaving. I'm just kidding. Anyways, we're pulling the cam out already. But while he does that, I will say something. The pistons look really good. It's pretty clean, which means that this motor is definitely taken apart before. There's no way there isn't that much corrosion on your pistons with like an old junkyard motor. It would be way worse. This is kind of annoying. You gotta like balance it. You technically usually put the bolts and then you like are able to play with it. But if you got nice hands like John here, very steady, you're able to hold the shaft from the edge and control it very long in a proper way.
So,
all right.
Controlling a long shaft.
Only real men can do it.
It comes with lots of practice. Long shaft.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh man, so it's a slippery too. You gotta be careful. It's like an eel.
There's your numbers to figure out what kind of cam it is.
Oh, there you go, guys. That's the kind of cam we have. If you know what that means, comment below.
Or we can just go.
Let's take this oil pan out. Oh, that was easier than I thought. Oh, we're getting caught up on the, there it is. Oh, what does it look like in there? Yep, there's no baffling in there whatsoever. Oh my god. Okay. Actually, I will say though, it looks pretty clean in here. That looks like a new tray. Is that what is that, metal in there? That doesn't look too good. There's some gunk. Where is your little magnetic pad that you have? I wanted to point out several things about this oil pan. The guy who owned it before, he had to cut the bottom flat like that to make it fit in the chassis. And when he did that, he replaced the bottom, and there's usually baffles down there. He cut all them off, and now there's no baffles. That is really bad, especially for drifting. Don't do that. Second thing is, this is a rear pickup, and that works, but the problem with the rear pickups is, for some reason GM designed them with only one bolt on the pickup. There's a hole right there. They could have just extended this bracket and made it 2 bolt, but no, I guess not. So they sell a bracket online that literally attaches to that one and like extends over this way, and it's like a little spacer and you can attach on both sides. I think Taylor purchased one. If we do keep the rear pickup pan style, we will get that. If not, front pickup pan, the front pickup tube attaches on both. So upon further inspection, I figured out there's a nut missing right here, which leads me to believe for sure this motor has been opened and they put a GTO pan that covers all 8 cylinders, because the original rear sumps, I think they only come up to here for fitment issues, so it only goes that way. So you're usually missing 1 or 2 nuts when you're reassembling. And it looks like this guy was missing one and he didn't bother to find another one. He just left it loose. So I was just checking for something and I saw that there's an O-ring in here. There's an O-ring inside the oil pump, and that's okay. That's from the pickup. But I was checking on the pickup, and the pickup also has another O-ring, which leads me to believe just when someone was assembling this, they kind of messed up, and when they took out the pickup, the O-ring stayed in here, and then they just added another one and bolted it back together. The pickup on the LSs is a very hard ordeal. A lot of people have issues with it. If you don't have a good seal there, your oil pressure will drop and then you just blow up your motor. And it's already weak because it's only on 1 bolt. So you need to be careful when you do that. There's different O-rings that packages sell for different types of pickup. Either they're in the midpoint or the front pickup or a rear pickup like this one. And sometimes they're different colors like green, or they might be the same color black, just different diameters inner and outer. You need to be careful when you do that. Also, you need to be aware that there are no extra seals in there, or there are some in there and not just none. So you got to be careful when dealing with the pickup and the oil pump in the LSs. That is literally the life of the motor, if anything, because the rest of the LS is amazing. Right, Matt?
Correct.
So I wanted to show you guys what an LS rod looks like. A lot of people don't know that it is a cracked rod, meaning they are made into a single piece and then they crack them apart to put the bearing. When you look at the rod, it is not a perfect end there. And when this is the cap, I'm sorry. And when you look at the rod, it is also not perfect. It is the opposite end of this cap. So when you put them together, they literally fuse and you can't see a line. They literally make a solid piece. It's not tight. So when you fuse it, it literally fuses into a solid piece, because they are made into a solid piece and then cracked apart. It's pretty cool, and a lot of people don't do that. Metal shavings everywhere. That's great. we got the bearing here. You can't see a lot of damage to it. There is some scoring at the end there. It's kind of hard to see on the camera in the end. There's like some scratches. There they are. And that's just the beginning of how a rod starts going. Or a bearing. When you destroy the bearing completely, the rod starts going bad. The crank starts getting scored. Matt is still grinding away at things. And we took apart all of the bearings and we looked at them. They all look good. We haven't really made a decision of what we're gonna do with the bearings. Everything looks really good. It looks like this block was probably rebuilt from someone, and maybe they didn't clean it right and left metal filaments in there. Maybe the oil pump says Canada on it, so maybe that was replaced and it's a crappy pump. Maybe the oil pickup with the 2 gaskets was leaking and it wasn't pulling properly. There's just so much that could cause these issues, but so far the bearings look really good. They're standard GM bearings. Their pistons look really good. The rings look really good. You can still see the hashing on the cylinder walls. So it was definitely rebuilt. Someone put some time into this. We just need to make a decision of what we're gonna replace from what they did. Before I forget, I also wanted to show you guys the no dipstick mod that our friend did. He just RTV'd the hole shut. That's no bueno. We're not doing that. We're actually gonna put a dipstick in so we can measure our oil. That's ridiculous.
It's like binding up on something.
Guys, at least he's using a mask.
Yeah. So this is a bracket, so it'll go out the back of this. So it'll come out here and go down like that, and then that's where the fan will bolt on for the oil cooler. And then I can make fan shrouding off of that to completely shroud in the oil cooler, so I'll have a separate fan for that.
Are you gonna 3D print it like Alsbo?
For the power steering cooler, most likely, yes.
The build is coming along really well. This is the rear's done. This is all getting done, and then we're talking about what we're gonna do with this oil pan and motor mount, engine mount, transmission mount setup. I don't really like these mounts. There's just too much about it. One, they're solid. I don't like solid stuff. Two, the guy put the bolt right there and welded it from the inside. So if that strips or a thread gets messed up or something, you're screwed basically. But that's not a big deal. The biggest worry is the trans mount. Now, it is solid. This attaches straight to the trans. There's no rubber in between that. And he was only using 1 bolt on either side. That is not how it's meant to be. That is not safe. There's a lot of flexing, a lot of everything on there. There's usually 2 bolts. And that travel, being the strength of a triangulation, is just so much better than 1 bolt. Probably gonna go with the same mounts I used for the S13, which was ISR mounts. They also make them for the 350Z to LS, and I'm trying to get Matt to get on that. And Juku's awesome. They have all these parts, and ISR mounts have progressed so much. They are poly, and they're not solid, but they're the best you can do besides solid. And they're designed well, so they load on their torque. The way they're made, I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but Matt does. He's the engineer here.
So like it's a radial load instead of an axial load.
Nice.
So
got it.
yeah.
So it's like a bracket that go. I can't hold the camera and do the it's like this.
It's loaded radial
instead of like this.
Hello?
Are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
It's my welder.
Is it hot? Basically, the ISR mounts should help us put the headers in a better position. The way they were before, they're kind of really close to the frame rails on the side. So everything about ISR just makes it better. The oil pan that we have has no baffles. That has to change. There is no option to that. Dang, Matt, you gotten really good at this.
I'm getting there.
Wow, look at those beads, those dimes, quarters. I don't know what
It's a worm. It's a worm. I'm not like dropping dimes. I'm just laying gummy worms.
I'm teaching these guys about the tuning upgrade. I'm also learning myself because I forgot. Basically, this is what an old one looks like, and what happens is with the higher lift of cams and hardened push rods and valve springs and all that, this adds a lot of stress on the bearing, and it ends up spitting these needles out. Then they sell comp cams sell ones like this, and they're all together in one piece, and they help with keeping everything in place and taking the load a lot better. So we need to replace our trunnion for that one. Our list is getting real long here. This is what I would suggest everyone needs to make a stock motor more reliable, especially if you're going to try to pull some power out of it with a cam. Let me see.
I had to gap a little, so that's my tack right there. Yeah, so
damn, that's a gap and a half.
So we're
Gap-a-ronies.
well, that was the way to fill this.
Are you just gonna send it?
But that's the correct length and everything, so I'm gonna send it so you'll see the finished product.
I want to see if you can actually weld that. Finished product?
So that's the gapped weld there.
Wow, that's like, you did legit laid some dimes there. There's a
Those are like quarters.
dollars, bro. Those are Canadian dollars.
So,
hey, that's really good. That's strong. It'll hold.
yeah.
Look at that. That's a good weld.
Yeah.
For us, we don't know how to weld. That's great.
For a Harbor Freight welder, no tutorial whatsoever. It was just hand us the welder and let's go put some stuff together and slowly figure it out.
I'm gonna get under there and work now. I will see you guys in the next video. You already know how to do a clutch, so they are leaving. I'm gonna go to work. Thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing. Goodbye.